Good afternoon, and welcome to Sausage Tree Safari Camp, the official YouTube channel. My name is David Soffen, and if you can't watch our videos, then you can listen to us on Spotify. Welcome to the Wild, put together by Matilda for us. Thank you very much for that. And you can listen rather than watch, but you can do it on the go. Today, I'm chatting with James, and we're talking activities in and around Sausage Tree. James, good afternoon. Welcome to you. Glad to see you sitting in the shade. It's been boiling hot all day.
It has indeed, David, a very warm winter's day, but the sun is on its way down and then it's going to cool down fairly
Wonderful.
rapidly.
Talk to me about some of the activities that take place in and around Sausage Tree.
Yes, let's start with the ones that are available around Sausage Tree, in Sausage Tree. We have massages that are available to guests, a whole menu of massages any day of the week. And we have something we've evolved here in addition to the standard option of a full-on bushwalk, which needs to be pre-booked with a qualified trails guide.
Right.
Which is a 2.5 to 3 hour process, and not necessarily something that first-time safari goers want to expose themselves to. They may be somewhat nervous of embarking on that. So we evolved this experience we called the track and sign experience, which takes place after breakfast, after the morning game drive, breakfast, and then this optional activity of a 1 hour track and sign experience where you are accompanied by the guide on the vehicle, and you're really not traveling very far, just around our lodge into the bush area. And you're getting on and off the vehicle while our guide shows you and explains to you how they interpret tracks, which is fundamental to the whole safari activity, and why the chap on the is sitting on the front of the bonnet, as it were, and what he's looking for, and getting an insight into this ancient but incredibly important art that took us, let's face it, took us out of the caves and enabling us to hunt successfully. Here we're hunting, but with a view to shooting only with cameras. Of course.
But now the object of this exercise, James, is not to look for big five. It's to look for the little stuff, the stuff that guests would miss when they're driving past in a game viewer.
Yes, as it is. You never know what you're going to come across. True. But you're not going away from the game viewer. You're sticking pretty close to the game viewer. And some of the tracks you see may be large, they may be elephants, but the guide will show you important things like which direction is the elephant going in. Always useful to know when you're on foot in the African bush. And it may be as small as a mongoose or a squirrel's track.
Yeah.
And how old is it? And fascinating stuff like that. So in addition,
for people who don't know, gravel roads read like newspapers to people who are trained in the art of track and sign. They really and truly do. They can sit there for hours and watch, show you how a mouse crossed the road.
Indeed, they can tell you what's gone on in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
And very accurately so. And they read it like you and I would read a newspaper.
Yeah. So
these guys are incredibly skilled. They've this skill has been passed down to them from their family, from their father, grandfather, and so on. And the Shangans, who are the guides and trackers that we have here, have a very strong reputation for being very gifted in tracking in South Africa.
Now, aside from this experience, what else can guests do within sort of a reasonable radius of your camp?
Okay, just to finish off on that, importantly, also the guide will show them different plants, different trees, and go into their medicinal use, their
Mm.
traditional uses, which is fascinating and very often first-hand information because they themselves have used berries, bark to treat different ailments,
Mm.
whereas you and I have always gone to the pharmacy.
True enough.
So, other activities outside of the camp, I'm sitting looking to my left are the Drakensberg Mountains and the magnificent Blader Canyon. And we can very easily arrange for uh, a, a tour, a private tour of the panorama route, which we
Mm.
thoroughly recommend. That the as long as the weather's on our side, and it usually is, the views are spectacular. Third largest canyon on the planet, and this one, unlike the two largest ones, has vegetation.
Ah,
It's not sand desert, so
okay.
absolutely beautiful. Another
Sorry,
activity.
Sorry to interrupt you, James.
No,
Distance
not at
from the
all.
camp to
I'm sorry.
the panorama route, the distance from the camp to get there.
It, to begin, the panorama route is approximately 45-50 minutes,
Okay.
and you can comfortably do the panorama route and get back, have a bite to eat, and get back to here
Mm.
in time for the afternoon drive.
Oh,
So
wonderful. So
you
you've
would just be missing out on the morning drive.
got two
But if you're
activities in
staying
one
here for
day.
more than 2 or 3 days,
Mm.
which some people do, then it's a wonderful
Yeah.
excursion.
Okay, so we've got Blader River Canyon, we've got the panorama route. What else?
Within the Blader River Canyon, there is the Blader Dam,
Mm.
very large body of water, with, and you can go on a boat ride, which and the most beautiful, stunning scenery. Very little evidence of human development
Mm.
in around that area. That's also a very nice tour to do, and that can be done between drives.
Okay. Is Pilgrim's Rest just too far from Sausage Tree?
No, it can be taken in
Mm.
with the panorama route.
Okay. So if people are listening to you and I chatting about this and wondering where we're talking about Sausage Tree Safari Camp. And if you want to find out more about it, how you can take part in some of these activities, why don't you call them +27015 793 0098, or if you're modern, you can drop them an email, info@sausagetree.co.za. Back to the activities. What else, James?
Okay. Again, for those who are staying for more than 2 days, you are staying in the Greater Kruger. We are in the Greater Kruger
Mhm.
area. I would recommend, and I do, to all guests who are staying for more than 2 days, that they take a day's privately guided tour into the national park.
Right.
And the advantage of that is it's on your doorstep. The animals that our guests see when they're out on drive are Kruger animals, and
Right.
they are free to circulate within the whole of the Kruger. Human beings aren't.
Yeah, true.
So go through Kruger Gate to get into the national park.
Mm.
Why would you want to do that when you're staying here and you're going out on 2 safaris every day? Because it's a different experience in the sense that you are being driven on tarred or very good untarred roads, and you're covering many more kilometers during the day, and you're seeing different ecozones, and you may see some species that you're not going to see while you're staying here, such as ostriches, which occur in very large open areas.
Mm.
And it's like being near Yellowstone Park and not going into Yellowstone Park. You've got to do it.
But do you find, James, because I'm listening to you as you speak, and I'm thinking to myself, normally when I go to a lodge, all I want to do is park off. I want to do 2 drives a day. I want to eat good food, and I just want to relax. I don't want to be in a car, in and out, fighting with traffic, fighting with other people, or anything like that. But if it's there and available for guests, I'm sure that they take advantage of it.
They do, and quite a few do,
Mm.
because it's got such a name to it, Kruger. We
Yeah.
are in the Greater Kruger here, but to actually go into the national park is something that people want to do because
Mm.
they've heard the name, they've watched documentaries
Yeah.
on that have been filmed in the national park, and they want to get a feel for it. And David, some guests, they get very hooked on this whole safari uh, business, and they come back again and again, and
Right.
they will at some time. And we've seen this with guests. They'll come back and they'll stay a couple of 3 nights here,
Mm.
uh, because they enjoy staying with us, and
Right.
we very much enjoy them staying with us. But then they will hire a car and they will go around the national park themselves for
Okay, because
four or
you can, of
five
course,
days.
you can self-drive there, which you can't,
Exactly.
which you can't do in Oliphant's West.
No, you can't, sir.
Um, things like ballooning, skydiving, mountain biking. Are there any opportunities for guests to do that if they're feeling a little bit more adventurous?
There is a hot air ballooning company nearby, and guests have it's on our website. It
Right.
is an optional activity. And I was speaking to guests just yesterday who had done it before they came to us,
Mm.
and they had a wonderful time. They really enjoyed it. So that's available. You
Yeah.
can go to another excursion we can arrange is to the Maholo Hollow Animal Rehabilitation Center, and you can see the world famous honey badger Stoffel,
Or
DJ
not,
Stoffel, as we
or
know.
not, James, depending on whether Stoffel is in the house or not. Because that
Yeah, well, he's a great escape
he's a
artist.
great escape
He's our
artist. He really
Stoffel.
is.
But what a character! Yeah, quite an animal, and they do a lot of good. They recently hit the headlines. Unfortunately, a whole load of vultures
Mm.
were poisoned due to an elephant's carcass being poisoned in Kruger in the north, and they have an absolute know-how they've developed over the years of looking after poisoned vultures
Mm.
and how to treat them and being able to release them. And
Yeah.
vultures are a very necessary part of the landscape, and they're very much under threat, unfortunately. So, and you can walk into the enclosure where they have vultures, and that's quite an experience.
I should imagine so. People tend to forget without the cleanup crew, as I call them, hyenas, vultures, jackals, and the other little scavengers like maggots and beetles, our felt would be littered with half-eaten carcasses, causing all sorts of terrible diseases. But we tend to ridicule or vilify them, specifically hyena. I have no idea why people don't like them. Maybe a certain
I think
company in the States is to blame for that, but I think they
I
are
think
special.
Disney has a lot to answer for.
Yeah, you mentioned them by name, so if there is going to be a lawsuit, be it on your head, James. If you
One
want,
of my favorite films. It was my training film.
yeah,
So
fair enough. For people who want to know where to send the legal documents, you can phone us on +27015 793 0098. You can email the lodge info@sausagetree.co.za, or you can just follow us, Sausage Tree Safari Camp, the official YouTube channel, or Welcome to the Wild, the official podcast channel, which is available on Spotify. James, for people who are thinking of coming to visit, what else could you suggest?
Well, there is we are very linked. We support Daktari,
Right,
which I've spoken to you about previously. Everybody who stays here actually contributes a certain percentage of their booking to Daktari Bush School for underprivileged rural school children
right,
and animal orphanages. The animal orphanage is there for educational purposes, and the whole idea is to expose school kids who are living on the edge of the bush, in the bush,
right.
but there are hardly any wild animals left. They've got to go, been hunted, eaten, etc. And to make them understand, to sow a few seeds that there are a lot of job opportunities on their doorstep within the lodge industry. And we support Daktari fully.
Okay.
It's not open to the public,
Mm,
but because we have a strong connection, we can organize tours to Daktari, and
okay.
you can see the kids being taught and what they're doing, and people who are interested. And I think, there's more and more ecotourism, and it
Yeah.
comes under the umbrella of eco-educational
Mm,
tourism or regenerative tourism, as it's now. That's the latest buzzword, where you try to visit somewhere and make the place a little bit better from your visit.
right.
And that is a way that you can do that, by
Great,
supporting Daktari and
great
visiting them.
stuff.
And it's a fascinating place to visit.
I'm sure more and more people become aware of it. The visits will become more, the donations will become bigger and better. And as you say, it's an up and coming generation that needs to know and understand in order to have what they currently have. You need to conserve. You can't just slaughter and or dig up stuff and hope that it's going to be replanted or replaced by some anomaly, something we know nothing about. Anyway,
Indeed.
James, who's one of the owners at Sausage Tree, thank you so very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. It always is. As we come to the end of series one, I do hope that there is a series two in the not too distant future, but we'll be chatting about that in the upcoming weeks. So, from Sausage Tree Safari Camp YouTube channel and their Spotify audio channel, my name is David Batsoff. Till the next time, bye for now.